Imagine a world where your worst enemies are no longer your enemies, but your allies. A world where the very curses you cast upon others come back to you with the force of the universe's own law. What if I told you that by blessing your enemies, you could reverse the curses, heal your wounds, and break the chains that bind you to hatred? In this speech, I am going to share the truth I've learned from my journey as a former witch, that the power we wield through negativity and vengeance is ultimately a poison to our own soul. And it is only by embracing love and forgiveness, even towards those who wrong us, that we can reclaim our power, transform our lives, and break free from the endless cycle of harm. This isn't just about witchcraft, it's about a universal truth that applies to every one of us. What happens when you bless your enemies? Every curse you cast upon others will come back to you, but in ways far beyond what you might imagine. When we are wronged, the natural reaction is to harbor anger, bitterness, and resentment. It's almost as if holding on to these emotions is our way of keeping the other person accountable for their actions. We think they need to feel the weight of what they've done to me, but here's the truth: that weight doesn't burden them. It weighs us down instead. Every time we cling to hatred, we allow the wrongdoer to continue influencing our lives, even when they may have moved on. By holding onto that resentment, we're not protecting ourselves, we're hurting ourselves. This is where the concept of blessing your enemies becomes so transformative. It sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? But think about it. When you bless someone, you release the hold their actions have on you. You stop giving them the power to control your emotions, your thoughts, your peace. Instead of letting their wrongdoing fester inside you, you choose to free yourself from it. Blessing them isn't about condoning their actions or pretending that nothing happened. It's about saying, I am no longer going to let this define my life. I am moving forward. This is a choice of empowerment, not weakness. What's even more powerful is the effect that this release has on your emotional and spiritual well-being. When you forgive and bless, you free yourself from a prison of negativity. Your thoughts shift from revenge and anger to peace and clarity. You stop focusing on the wounds and instead, you start focusing on your own healing. You reclaim your own energy, which had previously been spent on hatred and resentment. In that shift, you reclaim your power. It's no longer their actions that define you. It's your response to those actions that shapes your path forward. There's a profound freedom in blessing your enemies. It allows you to walk through life without carrying the heavy baggage of unresolved anger. That weight you've been carrying around, it doesn't just affect your heart. It affects your health, your relationships, and your ability to create a future of joy. By blessing your enemies, you release the chains that have kept you tied to negativity. You create space in your life for love, peace, and new opportunities to enter. The more you bless, the more you heal, and the more your life becomes a reflection of your own inner peace. This is not to say that you will never feel hurt again. Life is full of challenges and people who may wrong you. But by practicing the act of blessing your enemies, you teach yourself that you are stronger than the pain they caused. You are capable of rising above it, and in this rising you realize something truly remarkable. When you bless your enemies, you are the one who changes. You are the one who wins. In letting go of the anger and resentment, you let in the space for true happiness, freedom, and peace. So, don't wait for the world to change. You have the power to change it, starting with your own heart. Every action we take sends ripples through the universe. Whether we act with kindness or malice, what we put into the world always finds its way back to us. This is the law of karma, the belief that what we do to others will return to us in one form or another. As human beings, we often forget this universal truth when we feel wronged. We want to cast curses, to exact some form of revenge, thinking that we are somehow evening the score. But the reality is, when we curse others, we are only setting ourselves up for even greater consequences. What many fail to realize is that the energy we send out, particularly negative energy, never dissipates. It doesn't just disappear into thin air. It circles back, often stronger than when it first left. The curse we cast upon someone else can just as easily return to us, with a power and intensity we did not anticipate. We think we're punishing someone for their actions, but in truth, we're binding ourselves to the very thing we're trying to get rid of. We trap ourselves in an ongoing cycle of negativity that keeps us stuck in the past, stuck in the hurt, and stuck in a place where healing can't take root. This is why blessing your enemies is so much more than just a spiritual act. It's an act of self-preservation. When you bless someone, you stop the cycle of negativity that might otherwise continue. You break free from the karmic chain that binds you to the past, instead of inviting more negative energy into your life. You create space for positive energy to flow. You shift the balance from anger to peace, from vengeance to forgiveness, and in doing so, you open the door for greater blessings to come into your own life. Blessing others is not about them. It's about what you are choosing to invite into your own life. By blessing those who have wronged us, we transform the energy around us. We stop the back and forth cycle of harm, and instead we introduce a new cycle of healing and transformation. This does not mean that the wrongdoer is off the hook. It simply means that we are choosing not to carry the weight of their wrongdoings any longer. We are choosing to stop the flow of negativity. In blessing them, we free ourselves from the chains that have kept us anchored in resentment and anger, allowing ourselves to move forward. In this way, the law of karma works not as a punishment, but as a tool for our own growth. Every time we choose to bless rather than curse, we are choosing to align ourselves with the positive forces of the universe. We are claiming our power back. So, remember, when you choose to bless your enemies, you are not just sending good intentions to them. You are sending those same good intentions into your own life. The energy you put out into the world will always return to you. Choose wisely what you send out. The more you bless, the more you heal. The more you bless, the more you receive. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful acts of transformation we can experience. It is often misunderstood, seen as an act of weakness or submission, but nothing could be further from the truth. Forgiving those who have wronged us and even blessing them is an act of extraordinary strength. It is a decision to release the grip that the past has on our hearts and minds, a choice to rise above the hurt and pain we've endured. By forgiving, we are not excusing the wrong. We are choosing to step into a higher place of personal freedom and growth. True transformation begins when we realize that the hurt we carry is not only a burden to those who caused it, but also to ourselves. It holds us hostage, keeping us in a place of resentment and anger. Every time we remember the wrongs done to us, we replay the hurt in our minds, reinforcing the very feelings we want to move beyond. Blessing those who have hurt us is a powerful way to end this cycle. When we bless them, we stop giving them the power to control our thoughts, our emotions, and our future. We take back our own power, freeing ourselves from the chains of past wounds. You might wonder, how can I forgive someone who hurt me so deeply? The answer is that forgiveness is not about the other person. It's about you. It is about taking back control over your emotional state and deciding that you will no longer be defined by what was done to you. Blessing someone doesn't mean that you are letting them off the hook or accepting their actions. It means that you are making a conscious decision to no longer let their actions define your life. It means that you are no longer going to hold on to bitterness and anger that only damage you in the long run. When we bless our enemies, we let go of the negativity that has been building up inside us, and we open the door for healing. It's like releasing a weight that we didn't even realize we were carrying. We stop allowing the pain of the past to control the quality of our present and future. By blessing those who hurt us, we create the space for new possibilities and experiences to enter our lives. We open ourselves to new relationships, new opportunities, and most importantly, new levels of peace and contentment. Embracing forgiveness and blessing your enemies is a courageous step toward living a life of true freedom. It doesn't come easily, and it's not always immediate, but it is always worth it. You may not feel the transformation all at once, but over time you will notice a shift. The heaviness of resentment and anger will begin to lift, and you will find yourself living a life of greater joy, compassion, and peace. Forgiveness is a gift you give to yourself. It is a choice to embrace the fullness of who you are and who you are becoming. So choose to bless, choose to forgive, and watch your life transform in ways you never thought possible. In conclusion, the journey of blessing your enemies is not an easy one, but it is one that leads to profound transformation. It requires strength, courage, and a willingness to break free from the cycle of negativity and resentment. When we choose to bless rather than curse, we reclaim our power, heal our wounds, and open ourselves up to a life filled with peace and abundance. The law of karma teaches us that what we put into the world will always return to us. So by choosing to bless, we invite positive energy into our lives. The power to heal, to forgive, and to transform is within each of us. It begins with the simple act of letting go, blessing those who have hurt us, and choosing to rise above the past. As we do this, we create a life that reflects our highest potential, one where we are no longer defined by the wrongs done to us, but by the strength of our hearts and the power of our choices. So, let us embrace this power, bless those who challenge us, and watch as every curse transforms into a blessing.